Ready now for something on the lighter side of baseball? Okay. Ever hear of the time a pitcher really used his head above and beyond the call of duty? Well, here's how it goes. In an American League game, runner on first, the moundsman uncorked a pitch that the batter really got a piece of, smacked it right back to the mound. The ball ricocheted off the pitcher's head in the air back toward the plate. Not to be outdone by his battery mate, the catcher used his head, too. Caught the ball on the fly, whipped it to first, doubling up the runner. Damage to our hero? Just a slight bump. Now, let's listen to the lighter side of something else.
To be crisp, a beer must be icily light, smooth and delicious, precisely right, lively, golden, crystally clear, the crisp refresher,
The crisp refresher.
Valentine, Valentine beer.
Hey, get your cobia. Hey, get your Valentine beer.
You know, for over 300 years, your neighborhood tavern has been known as the place of good fellowship. And May is National Tavern Month. Yes, sir, your tavern's a great place to meet old friends and win new ones. And when you stop in at your neighborhood tavern, ask the man for Double L, Light Lager by Ballantine. Or ask the man for Ballantine Ale.
If you've had one of those topsy-turvy days, relax and have a Budweiser. Why Bud? Well, like it says on the label, a taste, a smoothness, a drinkability you'll find in no other beer at any price. Budweiser is the king of beers, but you know that.
Son, I've been meaning to have a little talk with you.
Huh?
Would you turn that thing down?
What do you want to talk about, Pop?
Well, look, you're not a kid anymore, you know what I mean, huh?
Oh, please, Pop.
Oh, come on, son. I can still remember the day my father walked in just like
Oh,
this.
no, Pop.
All right, I'm going to be straightforward. When you go out with your friends, do you ever drink beer?
Pop,
Come
please.
on, son, be honest with me. Do you drink beer?
Of course I drink beer, Pop. I'm 29 years old.
Okay. I just want to know that you're drinking good beer.
I drink good beer.
That's what you say.
Oh.
If I knew you were drinking Stroh's, I'd know you were drinking good beer.
What do you think? You're the only one in the world who knows what good beer is? Well, it just so happens.
Look,
Pop, listen to me. I drink Stroh's. Honest.
Son, your mother and I, we only want what's best for you.
Oh.
Roger gets to see more of the game than Ralph, because Ralph gets his cold beer from the refrigerator, but Roger gets his cold beer from a Stroh's Stay Cold pack. Once this insulated pack is cold, the beer inside stays nice and cold for hours.
Remember years ago when your grandmother did all her shopping at those small family-run stores? They were places she knew she could depend on, because the people who owned them had pride. Pride in their business and in the quality of the goods they sold, and pride in their family name on the store. Well, the Stroh Brewery wasn't any different. It started out as a small family-run business too, and today, after more than 100 years, it's still a family-run business, just a little bigger. But not much else has changed. The Stroh family still makes beer the same way they've always made it, proudly, with no skimping, no shortcuts, no compromises. And as long as their name remains on this bottle, that's the only way they'll ever make it.
Roger gets to see more football than Ralph because Ralph gets his cold beer from the refrigerator. But Roger gets his cold beer from a Stroh's Stay Cold pack. Once this insulated pack is cold, the beer inside stays nice and cold for hours.
One beer lover to another Stroh's.
Good evening, Mr. Marshall.
Oh, isn't this lovely? Thank you.
Spicy. How are you? Very well indeed.
Oh, how lovely. Oh, it's very expensive.
Don't look at the prices, just have anything. Monsieur would like to drink? The usual, The usual.
I am so impressed.
Stroh's. We make it for the man who really loves beer. And if on a special occasion he treats it with a little more respect than he would ordinary beers, well, we just take it as a gracious compliment. There's a Stroh's take-home pack for beer lovers. And there's a Stroh's take-home pack for real beer lovers. Introducing our new aluminum insulated Stay Cold pack. Once the whole pack is cold, the beer inside stays cold for hours.
Hey, Caesar, what's with this fire brewing business?
I don't know, man. Wait a minute. Hey, Sam.
Huh?
Fire brew, what is it?
Hey, Nick! You drink Stroh's? Fire brewing! What is it?
What is fire brewing? Technically, it's the old world way of making beer, using fire instead of steam to get a smoother, more mellow taste. But to the Stroh family, it's a kind of love. That's why they're the only ones in this country who still spend the extra money to fire brew their beer. They do it for the man who loves drinking good beer as much as they love making it. But how do you explain love to a guy?
Look, man, what is this fire brewing?
Stroh's. From one beer lover to another. Of all the beers in this country, the ones with the top reputations are usually those with a family name on the label, where the same family is still proudly running the brewery, like the Stroh's. They've been making beer for over 100 years, and as long as their family name remains on that beer, they're not about to let it be anything less than the best. Beer. There's an awful lot of it out there. And to some beer drinkers, it's all the same, as long as it's cold and wet. But to the real beer drinker, to the man who really loves beer, there's an important difference. Taste. Smooth, mellow taste to satisfy something more than just thirst. It's pretty hard to find these days. Not like years ago when all beers were fire brewed and great beers were commonplace. But fortunately for the real beer drinker, there's still one brewer in America who loves beer enough to brew it that same old world way. One brewer who still gives you a beer that has the smooth, mellow taste that all the great beers used to have. One brewer who still makes a real beer for real beer drinkers. Stroh.
In 1909, an American brewer named Stroh made the grand tour of Europe's great beer centers. He was planning to build an ultra-modern brew house to replace the old one his father had built nearly 50 years before. But first he wanted to find out what the old world master brewers were doing. So he tasted and tested and compared, and he made an important discovery. The beers he really liked turned out to be brewed over an old-fashioned roaring fire instead of by steam. So when he got home, he built his ultra-modern brew house all right, but he built it around old-fashioned fire kettles. And today, Stroh's beer is the only beer in America that's still fire brewed, which is why it tastes a little different, a little better.
From one beer lover to another.